Hello, everybody who can show up for this pretty late stream today, the 20th of January. Got a huge one today. I've got a ton of stuff to go through. We got another package from our good friend Glitter Jugend, and just a ton of stuff to get through, a ton of stuff to look at. It should be pretty fun. Lots of stuff to discuss. As far as points of interest for this stream, I don't have many. I just want to highlight again the Yandere Simulator ROM is available on the Google site that I've set up. This is something I'm probably going to tinker with a little bit more when I have free time, as kind of a new website for the channel, and eventually I just want to straight up code my own HTML site. But for now, this Google Sites thing is pretty good. I think they've actually changed it a little bit since I first worked with Google Sites, and I don't like this as much anymore. But yeah, so there's the link if you want to go download that Game Boy ROM, and maybe we'll discuss that too tonight. I'm sure that we'll have all sorts of things to discuss moving forward. So, games. I've got bunches of them. I got 13 carts in total, by my count anyway. That could be wrong, I guess. Lots of interesting ones. All Famicom games. So that's what you can expect. And I've luckily tested all of these beforehand, so this isn't like my other premiere streams where I try and fumble around and get a game to work live. These all work aside from one that I'm not entirely positive about. And some of them are kind of finicky with the AVS, which is what I'll be streaming off of as usual, but whatever, we're going to go for it, and hopefully it'll work out. And along the way, we'll talk about all sorts of interesting stuff, I'm sure, regarding the channel and everything, and regarding what is probably going to be a bit of a dry spell. We'll just have to see. We'll get a good stream in for tonight, though. So for starters, we have Pokemon Gold here. Though really this is actually a port of Pokemon Yellow, and a simple title screen hack of Weishin's earlier Pokemon Red release. And this is one of the games that fits a little bit weird in the Famicom, but it should be fine. I mean, the AVS. Alright. So we get this beautiful opening. I've played this one quite a bit with Tom, and he got a bit frustrated at certain points, and I'll sort of discuss that as we go along. So right off the bat, you can tell that the graphics are ported over pretty much one-to-one from the Game Boy. It's all in Chinese, so that actually isn't as much of a problem as you might think, to be honest. If you know the Pokemon formula, then you're going to be fine. Also, this is one of the instances where I have to agree with the general consensus in that the music is pretty bad. This game has a glitch where the notes will sometimes hang between rooms, which I seem to recall from another RPG that I've played before too. I can't really figure out or remember which one, but yeah. So right now we're talking to Professor Oak, who is a bit bald in this game. And yes, this is, it follows more or less the plot of Pokemon Yellow. There are some interesting things going on here, though. Receive our Pokemon, which is Pikachu. As we go to leave, we have to fight our rival, who can have, it seems, it's randomly selected what Pokemon he gets, actually. This time it's a Caterpie. And you may have noticed, first of all, I'm missing 2 HP completely inexplicably. I'm 2 levels better than him, and I am my Pokemon. There are no back sprites in this game, so it seems. This could be a glitch, potentially, because if you look in the manual, and maybe I should have grabbed scans of this quick, but I do have the manual on hand, and in the manual you can actually see back sprites for Pikachu. They look lifted exactly from Pokemon Yellow. So, who knows the reasoning there? Some other interesting aspects, I guess we can go through the menu here and kind of run some things down. So you'll notice the PowerPoints section. It's 8 out of 118. It does not mean that I have 8 points. It means that I have 118 points, which is a pool that all my Pokemon draw from, and my attack will use 8 of those. So everyone shares the same PowerPoints pool. Individual attacks do not have different PowerPoints. I think items, or perhaps, yeah, I think this is items, this is switch Pokemon. And we win. It's pretty rudimentary, I guess, as far as Pokemon goes. You kind of just have to grind and get through it. There's not much strategy involved here, unfortunately. But we'll play a little bit of it. And you can catch Pokemon. Naturally, but it's kind of difficult, we've found in our playthroughs. And I instantly encountered another one. Once you run out of PP, you just black out. You just lose. This battle's not going well at all. The animations are actually decent. I'm not sure which I prefer between Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Yellow by Shenzhen Nanjing and Pokemon Gold/Red here. Oh, hey Tom, thanks for stopping by. Can you tell me what this guy is? Is this a Pidgeot or a Pidgeotto? I will not get good. You know I'm not a Pokemon guy. Wow, I'm getting random encounters like crazy here. This game also has a save feature, but it seems to be broken, at least on this cartridge, and we're going to black out here. So we get brought back to our last place that we saved, or I guess just this house. But we should still have everybody. I say everybody, but I mean Pikachu. Oh, and yeah, there's an interesting menu screen here featuring an aquatic Pikachu-like creature. Pidgeotto. Okay. Wow, the encounters are crazy right now. Oh my god. Tom actually probably knows more about this than I do, this game. We played all the way past Misty, I think, and then at that point it was getting too tiring. Because if you're unable to really save and come back to it, it's just a slog. Try and make some progress here, though. Tom also found an amazing trick. If you hold B and press a button. Oh wait, A and press a button? Huh. Well, I think I actually figured out what's going on there. Possibly. But what Tom found was that you can stay in one spot, and by holding a button and pushing a direction, you can get enemies to spawn. It seems like every time, but what I think's actually happening is that pressing the A button locks your movement, and then holding a direction makes you do a bunch of steps very quickly. And so it seems like, oh, I lost again? Oh my god. Will I be able to get through this first patch of grass? This is off the hook. Enemies also appear to level with you. Is it confusing me? Is that what's happening here? I'm not actually sure what it's doing. Doesn't seem to be very effective, whatever it is. Huh. interesting. After this stream, on the secondary channel, I think I'm going to be running some Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Because I want to get good at that game again. It's one of the few games that I have any sort of skill in, and I've sort of fallen off the horse at being decent at it, so I'm doing a little bit of training, so to speak. I used to be able to get through that game like that, even Mike Tyson. So, trying to build up that skill again. And you can also see the grindy nature of the battle system at this point, I'm sure. Okay, so I gotta go to the Mart. That's the next story progression. And then go back to Professor Oak. The ledges do work, as you'd expect. But there's no animation for it. And I'm not entirely sure if there was in the original. I think there was. I seem to remember there being some little hopping animation. But I'm not an authority by any means. This is one of the later Weishin releases, and like I said, it's based on their earlier, one of their first ones, which was Pokemon Red, was the name of it. I lose again. Oh man. And what I see here is the framework for a very competent port of Pokemon Yellow, and it's unfortunate that when they came back to do this one, that they didn't workshop it just a little bit and kind of figure out the problems that existed. I think we can just move on now. Here's the drunkard. Or in the US version, I think it's coffee or something like that. Won't let you pass until he gets his coffee. Yeah, I think it just does a step, and holding it down makes it do a bunch of steps. We're cracking the mysteries of these games. Slowly but surely. So also on the docket tonight, we have Harvest Moon by Shenzhen Nanjing. We have Donkey Kong Country Banana Boat, or Super Donkey Kong Banana Boat. Squad 18. We got all sorts of interesting stuff. I just kind of want to get through the first bits of this game. I've often thought of doing some sort of charity live stream thing, and this would be a great contestant for a game that would make me lose my mind and I could just play for 24 hours. Oh, it's a Bulbasaur. Okay, so I think that's a Pokeball, if I could guess. Let me just throw it. Wait, no, that's... Ah, okay. Oh, wait, what? I don't have any Pokeballs. Why did I think that I got Pokeballs? Let's go get some, actually. Oh, those hanging notes are painful. So, I'm not a Pokemon expert, that's Tom, but I do think I can probably figure this much out at least. Okay, I got 500 Poké Dollars, or Yuan, or whatever that is. Is it Yen still? I think it's this one. I don't think Tom's in the chat anymore, so I'm just gonna say yes. Whoa, what the heck? You can still move the menu. Okay, I bought him. I think. We'll just go with that. Thankfully, the other games we'll be playing tonight don't have really a music problem at all. I think actually Especially when we get to the Super New Year 15-in-1. There's some pretty great tracks on there. Alright, let's try that again. Wait. Wait, what the heck? So this is... Oh, I bet that's a potion. Now it makes sense. Okay. I figured it out. Let's try and catch this guy. Wait, what level is he? I guess I can probably damage him first. Now, I'm not totally convinced about the effectiveness of actually weakening these guys before you catch them. It kind of just seems random, to be honest. Oh, I didn't buy a Pokeball. I'm an idiot. Well, it was worth a shot. Maybe that's an ether or something. That could come in handy, right? So actually, the Pokemon that show up are fairly appropriate to what you'd sort of expect, except for this. I mean, that's a little bit unexpected. Well, that doesn't work. I'm going to run out of energy right away. I do think there's a glitch, actually, that lets you get a Nidoking in Viridian Forest. It's one of the more famous ones, I think, for speedrunning. And we lose again. Shucks. You wanted the ones that cost 200 and 600. You were here and you didn't stop me? Okay. I'll just play this a little bit more. Clearly, I am not suited to this game. In general, though, I do think there's a very solid foundation for a decent game here. And it's a shame that it wasn't fully realized. Because I like the Shenzhen non-Gene Pokemon Yellow title a ton, but it suffers from a lot of the same problems that a lot of their RPGs do, in that it's really a slog to get through, the way that the enemies level up, and catching Pokemon in that game is a real pain. The game's a slight nightmare, to be honest. But it's got enough production value that it kind of masks that. This is the other way around, where I feel like there's a good foundation, but then the production value is pretty low. And in some cases, really the production value does beat out the gameplay, unfortunately. That one had a lot of elements that streamlined the game, too. I think some that Nintendo eventually adopted themselves, more or less. The idea that you don't have to use, you don't have to give Pokemon HMs to be able to use them, you just kind of have them all from a menu. And that was sort of in Pokemon Sun and Moon to some extent. A little bit different implementation, but a similar idea. Alright, well... Oh, an Ivysaur. That'd been really cool to catch that. Oh well. You also notice I'm encountering Pokemon when I'm not even in the grass. You run out of energy so quickly. Hello, BFDIF, or BFDI fan 447. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you stopping by. I see you in the comments pretty frequently, so I appreciate it. Yeah, this isn't going to happen. Another blackout or whiteout or whatever they're called. Oh, so this is kind of amusing. Regardless of how many Pokemon you have, you only give the Pokemon Center lady one Pokeball, and it's kind of silly. It just like vibrates. And there you go. Your Pokemon are better. It's in a way that's kind of a nice thing because it expedites the whole process. Well, probably shouldn't spend too much time in this, but yep, it's a game with a lot of potential that was unfortunately squandered, and overall though, it is still quite playable. Like I said, we played through in one setting all the way past Misty. It's not terrible, it's just as far as production values go, somewhat low. So that was Pokemon Gold, aka Pokemon Red, aka Pokemon Yellow. Now I gotta get it out of the ABS, which likes to grip this one for some reason. Okay. Next up, we'll do Harvest Moon. Play that for a bit. This is, like I said, by Shenzhen Nanjing, though I think my release might have been through somebody else, because much like my Chrono Trigger cart that I have, the plastic on this cartridge is insanely cheap and prone to breaking, so I'm going to have to be pretty careful. Okay, hopefully it boots up right away. Yeah, there it goes. The title screen's messed up, but as far as I can tell, that's just the title screen. The rest of the game plays fine as far as I can tell. So this is based on Harvest Moon GB2, from what I remember reading, and I'm by no means a Harvest Moon expert. That's more Bailey's thing, but from what I've played so far, it seems to be a pretty impressive port. And there's at least a few things that I'm genuinely impressed by. So, here we are in Harvest Moon Village, or wherever. Now, I think we're supposed to talk to everybody in town first, but I'm going to just try and talk to this person first and see if that triggers the farm stuff, so we can get right into it. I guess not. Oh wait, nope, there's the guy. I think talking to this old man allows us to go to our farm. And if I recall correctly, this music, oh wait, is the only track in the game. Okay, yeah. I think we gotta talk to everybody. Show off the game's honestly very good sprite artwork. I mean, there's some stuff that's kind of weird. The main character's walk cycle is not the best. But this stuff is good, and from what I can tell, actually just lifted directly from the Game Boy game. Which is the way to do it, if you ask me. So the purpose here, I guess, is just to introduce you to all the town people and the different utilities that they can offer. This is, I think, you can buy animals. Adorable cow sprite. Librarian, I think. And chef. I've not played this one a ton, so I don't really know what to do after you get started, but I do want to show you a very little bit of what's on offer here. I think that if you're a Harvest Moon fan, oh wait, we already talked to this guy. This is something that would really appeal to you, because it seems pretty fully featured. Is that everybody? Speaking of Harvest Moon, actually, oh shoot, I didn't want to talk to you. Eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed that the cow sprite that I used for that Yandere simulator game. Oh, there we go. Now we did it. Is a sprite from Harvest Moon. Not actually sure which one. I'm thinking maybe it was Friends of Mineral Town, and then I downscaled it and put it in black and white. But that is the source for that. Alright, so now we're on the farm. This dog is amazing. It's the best dog. It just flops over. Ugh. Boy. Pretty cute. Okay. How do we do this again? Go through here. So this is our barn. It's all drawn pretty nicely. And if I recall, I think some of these sprites ended up getting used later in Pokemon Yellow. So here you can take out your tools. That's a sai, shovel, axe, hammer. I think you need the hammer to break the rocks. Yep. I'd like to know what this game is running on, if it's a custom engine, because Shenzhen Nanjing is sort of well known for reusing that same basic RPG engine that they have over and over again with minor tweaks. I'd like to know if they're using that same engine again here, because it does seem pretty unique within their library. I'm not sure if there's you can get tired in this game like you can in the official games. I've not run into that problem yet. I think the idea here is that you're supposed to clear this out so that you can get animals. We don't have any of those yet, so let's go explore a little bit more. This is an example where the language barrier is going to be pretty high. Oh, this is kind of interesting too. So here's a silo, and I think if you go through this door and then come out instantaneously, you can see that they didn't actually draw a top part of it. But normally the illusion works pretty well because you're never going to be able to actually move the camera up that way if you come from the bottom at least. And the dog. The dog is what makes this game for me, to be honest. Alright, so here's the forest. I think I explored this a little bit in my initial just test of the game. One thing this game kind of makes me think, well, wait, what's this? Looks like I can't do that yet. It does feel more open than a lot of Shenzhen Nanjing's games. Most of those, aside from the previously mentioned Pokemon Yellow, which is a very accurate recreation of those games, a lot of them feel very streamlined and linear. Like Chrono Trigger, for example. You're basically on a path where you can't even move in the opening sections of that. You just gotta follow the predefined path. I think that it has something to do with going up here, actually. This looks like... Oh, this is interesting, too. When you have multiple characters on the screen, they keep on moving while you're in a dialogue. But yeah, you can't see it, so they kind of teleport once the dialogue ends, yeah. Makes me wonder if that could be used to get characters out of bounds, actually. Like if it doesn't check and update it while you're in that state. This also goes on the list of games that if I wanted to figure out how to beat them, I'd have the world record in the speedrun simply because no one else is going to be playing it. This guy's down here now. So we have some options at least. I guess he's asking if we want to buy it. I think we did. I don't know how much money I have. There doesn't seem to be a menu, which is a little disturbing. Well, that's Harvest Moon. I could probably spend more time to figure it out. I don't know if there's any guides online that can sort of go into detail. But it is impressive just for being something totally different than their normal stuff that they produce. And for being, as far as I can tell, a fairly accurate recreation of the game. Let me try and buy a cow. Okay, I need 300 or 3,000 to get the cow. I don't know if I got it. Let me check my barn. We'll check the barn. If I don't have a cow, we'll quit there. If we have a cow, we have to continue. At least a little bit. No cow in here. And no cow in there. Well, I don't know then. It's a mystery to me. It's a pretty complex game, so it's going to take a while to totally figure it out. But I am intrigued to say the least. So I guess this is an area down here too. Looks like this is one where you can use your tools as well. Maybe this eventually becomes farmland if you move all this stuff. Neat. Okay. So now I'm going to gently remove the cartridge, because it is the most fragile thing ever. OBS just had... I don't know what happened there. Seemed like OBS might have done something, but I don't think so. Alright. Well, that's my two boxed games out of the way. Now we'll move on to the loose ones. And we've got plenty of interesting stuff here. So, first off, I'm just grabbing from the pile. This is Super Donkey Kong. I believe it's translated as Banana Boat. And I've streamed this before, actually, in the distant past, on an emulator, where I could use save states. So, that was very helpful at the time. There is a password feature, which makes it a little bit easier, but I definitely am not going to try to actually complete this like I did that first stream. So this game is a platform game, much like Donkey Kong Country. It's got elements of the Donkey Kong Country series, but it is definitely, you wouldn't mistake it for those games. Shoot. The enemies are, like, I don't think those are the beavers or whatever from Donkey Kong, are they? I don't think that's what they're trying to do there. You've got bees and stuff, of course, but there's many elements that just give away that this is not an official title, the least of which is the controls, which are very touchy, I guess. Like, you have a ton of gravity, and not much control in air. It's better than some games in that regard, actually, but yeah, not great or even good. You kind of got to inch your way forward with jumps. Like, I'm constantly lifting my finger off the right direction. So I don't want to go farther than I'm supposed to. It's another fall down the, yeah, blind falls. I would not qualify this as horrible, though, by any means. It's not as good as Hummer Team's Donkey Kong Country 4, This isn't horrible though, and there's been other platform games that I've played that are worse. The level design actually seems thought out, which is definitely a positive. And the controls, I mean, at least seem somewhat suited to it as far as gaps go. There's no ridiculous gaps that you won't be able to clear for the most part. But as is often the case, momentum's gonna be a problem at times. And enemies appearing out of nowhere is also an issue, apparently. There we go. The screen scrolling is also not bad now that I think about it. I'm trying to think of like as far as general platform game stuff goes, the screen scrolling is pretty decent. I'm supposed to go into that cave, right? It looks like I'm supposed to. Maybe I'm supposed to ride the thing up. Oh shoot, I accelerated all weird there. Let's try that again. Whoa! I complimented it too much and now it's thinks it can get away with it. Some weird acceleration stuff going on. Mostly it seems like you don't want to use the run button. Seems like that's just going to harm you. Hi, little bits. Thanks for stopping by. That's what I was supposed to do. Shucks. Darn. Oh well, we made it through the first level, I think. I think that's the first level. Yeah! Banana, balloon, apple. Can move to the mushroom area. So, listening to the music, it's very interesting. Don't really know what this is trying to sound like. It's not really bad. It's not grating like the Pokemon music was. Thanks, I really appreciate that. Oh my god. And there are limited continues also, which is unfortunate. But I guess the password system kind of makes up for that, and it's short passwords too, so. Let's try again. Whew. Yeah, as you can see, you can move pretty fast with the jumps, and since that's your main mode of transportation anyway, no real need to use the run button. Alright. It's interesting there that you can see that just it cuts out of that other mushroom. Okay. This isn't going good at all. Give this a few more tries. If I recall, this game does have a pretty amazing ending sequence, which we won't be able to see tonight, obviously, but I do remember that being kind of hilarious. I've played, I think, quite a few Donkey Kong Country bootlegs in my time, and It's always kind of surprised me, actually, how many of these there are. Oh! No good. And this one ranks somewhere in the middle. It's by no means as bad as Super Donkey Kong 99, which I think is maybe my least favorite game I've ever reviewed. Possibly. That might be hyperbole slightly, but not a big fan of that one. Oh, well, okay, one last life. Might as well try it. Whoa. Hey. Not a fan of what I'm seeing here, though. Ah, oh my god. My inner gaming power has awakened. Or awoken, perhaps. Guess I can't go up there. That's why. That life is tempting. That'd probably be a bad idea. Oh shoot, I kind of thought that was actually part of the background for a second. Final Fantasy VII for Famicom. I mean, oh, well, that ends that. It's definitely on my mind. That was one of the games I wanted to cover since the start of the channel, and I've got a copy of it. Interestingly enough, I'm actually going to be doing a video on the Final Fantasy IV Famicom port first, and then I'll probably do Final Fantasy VII not too long after that. It's still somewhat up in the air, but I've actually got a script for Final Fantasy IV in the works, so that'll probably come first. I guess speaking of Final Fantasy VII, take a look here at another Shenzhen Nanjing RPG, and I don't know the name of this one. I think it might be Once Upon a Time in China. This is just an original title of theirs, as far as I can tell. Perhaps based on a Chinese film, but I'm not familiar with the source material. I mean, that's obviously a still taken from somewhere, but I don't know the source. It's also a pretty nice plain one, too, if I recall. I got two here that are sort of in the same vein as each other. Also, this music sounds really familiar. Thanks. The music's pretty great here. I don't know where it's from, though. It reminds me, actually, for whatever reason, of Tetris 2 for NES, which is completely wrong. This one seems to have quite a bit of story as well. And how would I put it? Pretty highly produced cutscenes. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of scripted events. Obviously not Ninja Gaiden quality, but Okay, yeah, so first of all, speaking of Final Fantasy VII again, this cursor is from that game. And as well as Final Fantasy IV for Famicom. They use this hand cursor in all of them, it seems. Yeah, this is the less interesting of the two, though I still can commend them for their decent story, scripted events and stuff. Such as having to lose on purpose, which is something featured in FF4 as well. But yeah, this is pretty standard. Art style's a little bit weird in the battle scenes, actually. So let's move on to the other one. Since, like I said, there's a theme here. And the other one has a really neat battle system from what I recall. At least visually speaking. Where did I put the controller? Here it is. Do I have any save files on here? Nope. We're kidnapping the princess. This guy's got kind of a weird head. That happens when they decide to go for the taller ones. Okay, but this is what I like about it. It's a rotating menu. It's like such a minor thing, but it's pretty cool. I think there's also magic in this one. Is this magic? Yeah, amazing. Not that I think it'll help me. I think this is another forced lose. No, it's not even a forced lose. It's just it ends. So this story is about a princess that gets kidnapped, is what I've gathered. And you have to go save her from the ninjas. Or I guess they're probably not ninjas, right? And your guy blinks rapidly every time he takes a step. They start having problems, it seems, whenever they make those double tall characters. Very interesting. We'll do one more fight. Oh boy. I was not aware. I thought it was doing fine. That's the second time this has happened on stream. 1 second. Let's try that again. Thanks, little bits. I really appreciate it. So this is the game. How long has it been like that? Ah, man. It's always something. Let me see if I can... So did the Donkey Kong stuff even... Did the Donkey Kong stuff even show up? Ugh. Alright, well, let's reverse courses. Thank Harvest Moon did it, I think. If not, well, maybe we'll throw that one back in. Let me just do the Donkey Kong real quick. Just to put visuals to the game that I was talking about. So this is something that I haven't played tonight. This is called Donkey Kong Banana Boat, and I certainly haven't played it. This is the first time I'm seeing any of this. Oh man, that's frustrating. Okay. Well, here it is. No, this game is, it's not ugly, it's, unique. Yeah, it has some, frankly, disturbing visuals. Like I said, the ending of the game is a bit of a masterpiece, especially in that regard. And Donkey Kong has a more realistic look to him, which is interesting. I also think that maybe the main enemy in this game aren't crocodiles, but wolves is kind of what they look like to me. I don't know if that's actually the case. Something I commend the game for is that it's at least very easy to tell your character apart from the background, which is an issue that Somari kind of has, and a few other ones too, but this one, your bright yellow ape, contrasts very well with whether it's the sky or the cave. Everything is relative when it comes to these games. Oh shoot! The most unfortunate part is that the amazing job I did of defeating this difficult mushroom level will go unseen probably, unless I can do it in this one attempt, because I'm only giving this one attempt. Well, we'll never see the end of that level until I actually do a proper full stream. Alright, now on to the Chinese RPG block again. How unfortunate. Okay. So here's the first one. We'll play up through the first fight again, just so you guys can get a glimpse of what it looks like. And I probably will cover it, but like I said, off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of these two particular games. So when a review will come for that, I don't know. I might do some sort of bulk thing, because a lot of the Shenzhen non-Gene RPGs, as I've, I think, stated even this stream, very similar. That's incredible. I still need to get myself an actual copy of Space Odyssey, because I did that review before I started doing everything on console. I don't think I have a single Genesis bootleg, actually, in a physical form. Interesting thing about that Space Odyssey review, by the way, is that one's had very good longevity. Nintendo naming the new Mario game Mario Odyssey was a real boost to the views that that video got. Alright, so this is the one. It's kind of ugly, to be honest. Just in general, even the character artwork I don't much care for. But, like I said, it's sort of cinematic, and maybe that's what they were going for. I'm gonna guess this is based on a Chinese film. Okay, yeah. Alright, done with that one, and now the other one. And then we can move on into hour 2 without any more problems. Okay, so yeah, here's the battle system that I was exulting earlier. It's rotates. It's not much, but it's kind of neat. Again, the actual character artwork isn't amazing, especially on that guy. It's not very detailed. Did my guy just turn green in the bottom left-hand corner, or has he always been like that? Okay. So we'll just show the silly walking cycle that I was talking about. And then all will be right with the world. There we go. It's goofy. I don't know. Oh, I also, when I first played this, for whatever reason, the main character here reminds me of Carl Pilkington from this, like, this is a pretty old show now. It's called Idiot Abroad. Not a show that ages all that well, by the way, but this guy bears a striking resemblance to him from the side. Yes, that is a game. I have not played Mario 3, actually, so if you stop by the chat in the future and you have got a hold of that game, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. I think it's supposed to be pretty much identical to Space Odyssey, from what I know. Okay, moving on. Let's play some Sonic the Hedgehog-based games. I have an idea for a video coming up that will basically be Somari, the Ultimate Compendium Edition, with every version of Somari that I've obtained. There's one more that I want to get, but I don't know, it's kind of a minor one. But I have a ton of versions of Somari now. But the first game we're going to play is not Somari, but another game that's based on Sonic by Sachin, Jurassic Boy 2. Now, normally, I'm not a fan of Sachin's games, but Glitter Jugend has introduced me to a lot of pretty good ones through his various things that he sent. I like the Sonic music that's just changed just enough. But yeah, if it wasn't clear before, it certainly is now. So there's some graphical bugs in this game, and I'm not sure if that's a result of playing this on the ABS, or if that's just how the game is. Definitely would not be surprised. Shoot. If you can get a momentum going, unsurprisingly, shoot. This game becomes quite playable. A little bit laggy, but it does some other stuff that Somari doesn't even do. And I've played a fair amount of this one. One thing that it definitely gets is lack of death pits, which was one of my big criticisms of Somari, and something that I definitely want to talk about when we get to Probably one of our next games. Do you have a... No, I guess you gotta just run in at it. Come on now. I don't wanna get dead though by those guys. Okay, that's something. Will this work? Yes. Like, it does a decent job of giving you something of that sense of speed, which is lacking in Somari, at least in comparison to this game. And I by no means hate Somari. The soundtrack, which I think is original in this game too. I might be wrong about that. But the soundtrack is also pretty good here. Maybe better than the Somari one, which can sound kind of bad in some places. But it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges, because Jurassic Boy is doing its own level design, more or less, with Sonic the Hedgehog style gameplay, and Somari is trying to be Sonic on the NES. The levels are also a lot longer in this one, which is something that I'm not a huge fan of. There we go, we made it through the first level at least. Oh, was Jurassic Boy featured on Connor the Waffle? Interesting. I've not checked in on him too recently to see what he's up to. Oh, wow. Oh, get out of there. I guess I'd be interested to hear what he said. Just out of a curiosity. Yeah, I agree. There was sort of like a Yoshi-ish thing going on here. But yeah, Jurassic Boy is an interesting thing that's kind of all its own. It's more Sonic clone than it is like a Sonic ripoff. Okay. Next up, moving into Somari hacks, we have Family Kid, which was a happy surprise. Don't remember expecting this one. Did you found the ROM of Mario 3? Oh boy. I should probably take a look at that game at some point. Isn't that one... I remember that Mario 4 has a really disturbing game over screen, as you mentioned. I feel like Mario 3 did too. I know Felix the Cat does. Felix the Cat has one of the most bizarre game over screens. The game over screen looks more horrifying. Alright, let me do a quick search here. Go to the Bootleg Games wiki. Oh, it looks like there's a lot more information on here than there was before. Developed by BMB, published by KDS. I don't think that was known at the time. Oh, it's a tad I'm comfortable. Wow. I wonder what's up with the violent game over screens. Sure, go ahead. Here we have Family Kid. I'm not sure why it's called Family Kid, because it actually only says family on the title screen. But this is a very bare bones hack of Somari. And I can't tell if this is a glitch just on my cartridge or not, but part of his head's missing unless he's in motion. Very lanky guy here. But yeah, it's Somari with slightly different colorings and graphics. And maybe you gain speed faster? Actually? I think you gain momentum faster, maybe. Well, I don't know. Something about the controls does feel different, though. I've played like 8 billion versions of this game now, and every time I feel like I notice something slightly different. But I think I'm just growing more accustomed to Somari, and so it's weird physics now seem natural to me. Could probably send it. If you just want to send a link, you could message me just here on YouTube. It's Somari. We've seen it millions of times. Oh, that's why it's called Family Kid. It says right there. All right. I guess I've never actually beaten a level of this game. If you want to send the file itself, then you can send it to my email, which is MikeTheGamerGuy21@gmail.com. So that was Family Kid. Next is an elusive one that I thought I'd never have the chance to actually play a physical cartridge of. Crazy and lucky to have been able to get a chance to get this. Pop it in. This was the one I think I advertised this on Twitter as kind of the main attraction, even though it's nowhere in the title here. It's the Super New Year 15-in-1. What a classic cartridge for so many reasons. And the second game here is the Hummer. This is another version of Somari with great title screen music. But what's noteworthy about this is that this was a version done by Hummer Team. So it's a hack of their own game, and it features their mascot character from 2004, I think. And if I got the story correctly, it was a character that was created by one of the founding members' wives, I think is what it was. Now, I should have pulled it up, actually. But I think this game has at least one significant difference between Somari, aside from just the level progression and graphical stuff. I think that they removed some of the death pits that you can't escape in Somari. They like changed the like the height. Oh no, it's 21. The rest is right, but instead of 12, it's 21. And I appreciate it. So yeah, I think they actually went back and corrected a few gameplay things. because I got stuck in a death pit playing through the Green Hill level, and I was actually able to make it out, and it was one of the most amazing feelings ever. I'm sure out there exists probably the perfect version of Samari. I don't have it, but I feel like this is a little bit better. And you know what? I think the Family Kid game does actually have some minor not graphical, gameplay tweaks. Because this does feel a little bit slower than that one. Or this one has gameplay tweaks. Who knows? Yes, we beat the level. In addition to appearing on this cartridge, this game did appear in one other form, which is on the Samari 60-in-1, which was a Hummer Team plug-and-play console. I do not have one of those, but something I'm on the lookout for at some point. So there's that. That ends our Somari block, but since we have it in, might as well move straight into the other games on the 15-in-1. Just for the record, I guess the other one that I need to find still is Sonic 3D Blast 6, and there might be another one with a similar sounding name. But I think there's 2 more title screen hacks I need at Somari before I've completed that sub-collection. Okay, but we're beginning off with the first game, The Legend. Now this is a hack of another Hummer Team game called Street Fighter 4, and it is really good. This is a quality game. I'm going to play as my favorite character. This guy's name is Pasta, I think. Oh no, it's Stalong. That's too bad. There's one second. We got to play as my guy. Is it this one then? One of the characters is named Pasta. There we go. Pasta's kind of a Ryu-ish type character. So I'm doing poorly right now, but actually the controls in this game are surprisingly good, and pulling off special moves is not a total pain. As you can see, I'm pulling off the Wave Hadouken pretty easily here. This is one of the, if not the best fighting game I've played on Famicom, with the other contender being Mortal Kombat 2. Walked right into that. This is feels like a good example of knowing your limits. They had the 2 buttons and the D-pad, and they used it to the best of their ability. There are some broken characters on here, though. The 2-player mode is probably not going to be very fun for you if you... You know, I'll just post the email down here and you can get right to it that way. Should have done that in the first place. There you go. Oh, what the heck? My opening started playing for some reason. Alright. I look forward to giving it a try. It's been a long time since I've messed with that Mario platform engine. So anyway, yes, The Legend, it's really pretty good. Impressive, easy to pull off special moves, and just a good game. Pink Jelly. So this is a very simple single-screen platform game. I say very simple as I die. I mean simple in terms of gameplay mechanics. The background is from Donkey Kong Country, and when you leave the screen, you get a little Donkey Kong Country music there. Yeah, it's just a really simple little game with... Oh, there's this creepy ogre guy, though. I don't like him. That's weird. Let's go to a new area, at least. There we go. And I think the rest of these might be original. This does remind me of Linus Spacehead, the first Linus Spacehead game. But aside from that, I couldn't possibly think of where this background would have come from. I think this cat, Pink Jelly, was also used as a mascot for Hummer Team for a while. It made appearances on the Samari 16 one as well. I don't know, it's very playable. War? Oh, that was Aquatic Ambience playing, wasn't it? Their version of that song. It's a great version. Oh, it doesn't play long enough, though. That's too bad. So this game uses backgrounds from Donkey Kong, as we saw in the demo, but also Earthworm Jim 3. So there's all sorts of great Hummer Team games being represented through this. In a way, it's kind of like a celebration of Hummer Team, this cartridge. And I think it was their last Famicom cart. Anyway, just very simple. Kill the guys, eventually the level ends. I haven't totally worked out the conditions that need to be met to make that happen. Just kill a bunch of guys, I guess. Oh, there we go. And I think I remember reading on the Bootleg Games Wiki that Osama bin Laden appears in this game, which is pretty bizarre. And that's a topic that I'm probably going to cover at some point. Is the weird appearances of like horrible events in bootleg games. I don't know exactly how to cover it, but to sort of segue that into the next game is Hacker, which those of you familiar with bootleg games will recognize as Titanic, a game based on the Titanic, which is just a really strange thing to have a game based on this horrible tragedy at sea. Though this is, really based on the movie Titanic by James Cameron. So there's just a lot of questions about the appearances of tragedies in these games. For example, I had a script for the longest time for a Metal Slug port that came out for Game Boy Color. Great game. The gameplay is excellent. One of the best bootleg ports I've ever played. But the story is all based around 9/11. It's kind of uncomfortable stuff, really. So I figure I just need to do some sort of, video just to discuss the weirdness that there's games based on this stuff. And sometimes they're actually kind of good. Oh, let me check. I'll just, well, I don't know, I might check in a bit. That would be more disturbing. I give you that. No, I think it came out really close to it, though. And then there's this other one that, Ashens, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Probably are. He's a pretty popular YouTuber, but there was like a handheld Game & Watch style game called Laden versus USA, which uses actual stills from the 9/11 attacks in its background, and that came out in China as well. or originated in China. So it's just a very confusing sort of thing. Alright, let's restart that. Sometimes you gotta reboot the whole thing to get the title to come out. Look here. Yep, I received the ROM. Thanks a ton. Be looking into that. Possibly streaming it. Heroin is the same game as Titanic. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got both of your emails. Yeah, yeah, I got both of them. Yeah, Heroin is the same Titanic we just played, but with Rose rather than Jack. And then we have the Duck, and that actually is going to kind of finish off the 15-1, I'm afraid. This is a very simple duck hunt-like game with D-pad play and some Donkey Kong sound effects. A lot of Donkey Kong stuff in here. It's pretty much the same thing over and over again. I don't know if there's any penalty for missing shots. It's just, you know, you've seen it all already. The background's nice, though. And yeah, that finishes it off. The only other thing to note are the games over here, which are all pink jelly again, but with some different characters that you can select. You can be one of these guys now. I don't know who these are. What? This character's huge. That just puts you at a disadvantage. Yeah, but it's just the same stuff. So we've seen everything that the Super New Year has to offer. Pretty good cartridge for the Street Fighter 4 game and the Hummer. And what's the other? Oh, and Titanic, of course. Next up, I guess we'll look at 2 Russian titles I have, since Russia doesn't get all that much love on the channel, unfortunately. I'll begin off with this one, because I don't think I've actually gotten this one to boot up properly yet. I have no idea how to spell it, how to read this. Pegacomp Tecum Bob? Something like that. Now, this is a word processor for the Famicom, so don't know if this is you can really call this a game. It booted up! Thank God. So this is by Alexander Chudov, and it's seems maybe he's having a compatibility issue here. I don't think I'll be able to really do anything with this. I think there's a telephone number for him. Yeah. I think I would need a keyboard peripheral, honestly, to play this one. Unfortunately, I do not have that keyboard peripheral. So unfortunately, this one of his will not be played today. But we got to see the title screen at least. That's something. This is also in one of those wavy cartridges that I've mentioned before that are come out of Russia pretty recently. So this is a recent bootleg, from what I can tell. The other one I got from him, Sklad 18, is not so recent. This one also has issues sometimes, so hopefully it boots up right away. And this is one I'm really happy to have. Yay! This translates to something like Warehouse 18. Also, it looks like the picture's coming through much stronger on OBS's end, which is good, because it's kind of flashing on this end. Okay. So, this is a clone of the famous to anyone who's had a calculator, I guess, game Sakaban. Goes under like a million different names. And this is a version of it. So the goal is to move these boxes around so that they're on these other tiles. And that's how you beat a level. It's a very puzzly game in the most true sense. Very slow. Gotta plan out your moves. I'm happy to have this game for a few reasons. First of all, it seems like one of his more action-y games, actually. The other one I had of his, for example, was essentially a version of Scrabble, of Russian Scrabble, which doesn't do anything for me, of course. And I know he did like a traffic sign game for helping you know traffic signals and the like. There's a text processor, as we just saw, and a few other ones. So this one has the most instant appeal to an American like myself who has no knowledge whatsoever of Russian and just wants something to play. And it's a very competent version of Sakaban. We'll just beat this first level here. Another thing I like about this game is that the name like Sklad 18. It sounds very oppressive. This has this destitute quality to its name, and I appreciate that for some reason. Hooray! There's even a level editor in this game, actually, which is pretty cool. So you can make your own Sakaban courses. So pretty cool. I give that one top marks. And we're down to the last 3 games of the night. We'll start off with the one I'll probably play the least, I guess. I have no idea what the name of this game is. Its cartridge is Mario Sunshine themed. But the game itself has nothing to do with Mario Sunshine as far as I can tell. It seems to be a generic cart that a lot of pirates used. Oh, it also does this. This has happened before, but every once in a while there's a bootleg game that messes up the AVS's menu. Ben Shen. Judging by the copyright, this came out in 2005, so it's a pretty late release. And this is an interesting game. It's a RPG with extremely high production value. So much so that I can't help but feel like maybe this is a translation of a commercially available Famicom game. There will be a review of Around the World. I guarantee you. I thought I could talk to this guy. There's our stats. Oh, there we go. Anyway, we got to get on the boat. Set sail. Cool screen transition. Here we'll fight an enemy, probably. Something will happen. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the battle system's really interesting in this game. As unless you have a projectile weapon like that guy does. you have to move around the board, actually, which is just really cool. I mean, it's kind of like, if you think about it, a little bit silly, like we're like kind of scuttling towards each other. But yeah, it adds a real tactical flavor to the game. I can't move up for some reason, though. Oh, hey, don't throw that at my head. Oh, there we go. I guess I can get him in the feet. I think he's probably going to kill me. I'm actually positive of it. But it's really interesting. I don't think I know of another game that's really done this that's not a flat-out tactics game. That's what I'm about. Oh, I died. Such a thing. Well, so that was a game about pirates, assumedly. And it's interesting. Someday maybe I'll learn a different language, and then I'll be able to enjoy some of these more. Next up, we have something that is pretty interesting because, of course, there are so many Street Fighter II games out there. A ridiculous amount. So it's neat that this one is actually based on the first Street Fighter. It's called Fighting Hero, 1991 Megasoft. Really cool, based on the first Street Fighter game. It plays like total garbage. It is really quite bad. I don't think I've ever been able to deal damage to the opponent in this game. Okay, there's Billy, and I'm Leon. Clearly Ryu. I can't pull off special moves, to my knowledge. Like, there's probably a way to do it, I guess, but it's not as simple as it is in Street Fighter 4. See, I think I've hit him a few times, but it hasn't done anything. Oh, there we go. I guess I needed to kick him. It's commendable what they've done here with the graphics. They're pretty big and, I mean, definitely resemble human beings. I lose. Yeah, but as far as actually succeeding at this game, I don't know where to start. It seems like they can deal a ton of damage to you. I can't barely deal any damage to them. See, like, I'm hitting him, but his bar's not going down. It's about 5 hits to get that to happen. Guess I just need to figure out how to do that spinning kick near him, right? That'd probably help. I don't know. I think it's probably not going to happen. Kind of interested to know if this is legally distinct enough, actually. Because I'm not too familiar with the original Street Fighter arcade game. But I don't really remember it looking all that much like this. I've never seen that before. It's the best game over screen yet. Wow. Goes on for a while. Fun. Alright. We're on to the last cartridge already. This wasn't supposed to happen this quickly. Maybe I'll throw in some bonus spin at the end, I don't know. Okay. I guess for what it's worth, the final cartridge is a multi-cart. So we might still make the 2-hour mark yet. Here we go. And this has got a really great Hummer Team game on it, too. This is, I think it says 1996 3-in-1 MK309 is what we'll call it. Alright, there we go. Oh, it didn't work properly. It's unfortunate. Okay, attempt number 2. This one usually boots up without a problem. I'm a big fan of this multi-cart, by the way. This is a really good one. Here we go. Wolf Special, Dream Mushroom, and Addams Family. So Wolf Special is Garo Densetsu Special, or Fatal Fury, I think, in the US. Dream Mushroom is Little Nemo the Dream Master, and Addams Family is exactly what it says it is. So we'll begin with that one because this is the one I'm least interested in. Here we go. Addams Family. Not a series I have any particular love for by any means. Okay, one of the gravestones leads to a crypt. Stand on the gravestone and press B on control pad to enter. Well, that's the Addams Family song. It's got that. I recognize that at least. Oh, shoot. Stop hitting me, what the heck? The graphics actually are kind of appealing in that they remind me of Maniac Mansion, which is a game I like quite a bit. Especially the NES version, which is what I've played mostly. Oh, I think I needed that ghost to be able to get up there. The controls aren't bad. This isn't a great game, but it's not a bad game either, from what I can tell. Does this happen? Oh, wait, what? Oh. Oh, I did it. Okay. Does any of this happen in the Addams Family? Is this like based on like a reboot of it or something? I think one of those Addams Family games actually got a ton of press back in the day, in like Nintendo Power and stuff. Fester's Quest? I think that's an Addams Family game. That one got like a ton of attention. Oh god, I'm doing horribly. Whatever. Okay, just a little bit more. I gotta pad this out, I guess. It doesn't look very professional in their level design. It is Ocean, though. I don't know if anyone has any particular love for that company. I've definitely never heard anyone be an Ocean fan. But, not a big fan of their games, especially Jurassic Park. Okay, Dream Mushroom. This is a great game. The Japanese version of Little Nemo the Dream Master. Capcom classic. And I think a difference between this one and the US version is this guy's a cigar. I think that was changed in the US version. But it's essentially a side-scrolling platformer where the gimmick is that, not dissimilar from Mario Odyssey, you can possess some of the enemy characters, like this frog. Feed him the candy. And you can jump inside their skin. You're literally inside the guy's body. Not even your spirit, but you actually just squeeze yourself in there. Alright, so I brought the stream back. I don't imagine anyone's still there. But if you are, let's play out these last few games. I might need to reinitialize. Oh, there it is. Came right back up, actually. That's good. Yep, blue screen of death. I think that's the second time that's happened during a stream before, too. I guess failures come in twos. Alright, so let's play a little Nemo again. And hopefully this time it won't kill my computer. We'll watch the opening. Of course, since it's Capcom, it's going to be beautiful and amazing. And after I stream, I'll download the two parts and then I'll smush them together and re-upload it as one whole archive. And again, after the stream, I'll be doing a little bit of a relaxed stream on the other channel that I have of some Punch-Out. So stop by there if you want. Alright. Walked right past me. That's a speedrun strat, actually. So, real quickly, things I should mention. The channel is going to be slowing down a ton because school's back in session. And, you know, normally that wouldn't be too much of a problem, like if my schedule was anything like it was last semester. But this semester I'm taking Assembler, which every day I hear from someone about how Assembler's a nightmare class to take. And then my section got switched, so apparently it's even more difficult with the professor that I now have. And on top of that, I have another programming class and a software development class, or, well, software engineering class. And then some other class that's probably easy, but yeah, it's a lot. So this is going to be something of a going away stream, probably, unless things go really well for me. We'll just see. Come on, frog, don't do that. Ah. Darn. I think those sound effects are from Darkwing Duck, which is also a great NES game, by the way. Does this guy have an attack or anything? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, that'll be a pretty big time sink. I'm still going to try and get some stuff out, though, if I can. And if it works and I can do live streams, that'll only be a good thing, because it means I probably won't go insane by the end of the semester. I still have time to do this stuff. Oh, it looks like I need to find 3 more keys. Yeah, it's just a real solid platformer with a cool gimmick and fun visuals and everything. What more can you really ask for from an NES platformer, to be honest? Not much is the answer. And speaking of not much, like, what more can you ask for from a pirated fighting game on Famicom? In regards to this game, not much is the answer again, because this is an excellent one. Earlier I said that I guess Mortal Kombat 2 would be the second best fighting game, but really it's probably this one, if not the best. This one is also very good. Might even be a little bit more balanced than Street Fighter 4 / The Legend. Will be Terry Bogard, I think is his name anyway. Or Terry Bogaro. So this has got some great stuff going on, some parallax scrolling backgrounds. Once again, the controls are pretty great. Like, I can pull off that special pretty much every time I want to. I think this is a bit more challenging of a game than The Legend, because the characters aren't as broken, more evenly matched. But I mean, still just a great game with nice big sprites. And we played another Fatal Fury game on here before. It was the Konisoft Fatal Fury game. And that was an absolute nightmare game. Horrible. Oh, come on, come on. Ah, close. This is Terry Bogaro doesn't play like pasta. You can't just spam the same attack over and over again. Well, you can, but it's not going to be as effective as it is in that game. This one kind of encourages you to get in the middle of it at least. In other news, just regarding the channel, just like to say that the recent upload is doing real good, which would normally be a bigger deal for me because, you know, that could possibly translate into some nice monetized views, but of course that's changing now, and I'm sure this has been talked about, and I won't dwell on it too long because it's just complaining from a guy who makes videos about video games. But yeah, I'm gonna lose my YouTube partnership status on the 20th of February because they're changing their rules about who gets to be a YouTube partner. I've heard a lot of different opinions on this, mostly from people who have a ridiculous amount of subscribers already and who make over $1,000 per video. So it's not a completely interesting perspective to me, but at the same time, something that I do... Oh my god, I'm just getting owned here. Something that I do agree with that I was reading was that YouTube is, you know, the best platform for sharing videos. And since that's really what I like about it, I'm still going to be around here for quite a while. But that doesn't mean that I've demonetized all my videos, so you shouldn't get ads on them anymore. You'll be able to watch my entire content collection without being pestered by, you know, Pepsi or whatever it is. Which, honestly, is a positive. That guy's got a pretty crazy special move. And then the next stream, whenever I get a chance to do that, will probably be over another package that I've got coming, which will primarily be RPGs by the company Shenzhen Jin. I think it's pronounced Jinkoda, and they have some very interesting late-release Famicom games, including ones based on Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They've got one based on Dragon Quest V, which was a Super Nintendo game, and as far as I can tell, they're really highly regarded. So I'm very excited to look into that. There's also a mystery game coming with it. So, oh, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, but a keyboard Famiclone, which would be something really cool to stream. If that does come, though, I think it's PAL-based, so I might need to get a AC adapter so that works out. I think that by far the first stage has the best background, but all these are actually pretty decent. Oh wow, that's a cool attack. I didn't even know that was in the game. This is a great fighting game. I guess Hummer Team was the only ones that were really able to master this. Whoa, come on. Oh no. I got a bad feeling about this. Oh, come on. I can't believe it. Ah, destroyed. Completely destroyed. I'd like to learn how to do that attack. Maybe that's like a rotate the control pad thing? I don't know. I think the best move is the flying kick, though, from the looks of it. They don't do too well against that one. Unfortunately, I haven't got a chance to play this one in 2-player like I have a lot of the other fighting games that I own. But just from my time with it here, I think it would actually be pretty decent. Oh my god, every time I get close. Shoot. Game over. Oh, I didn't want to actually continue. Well, I got like 12 more minutes to spend on something to make this a 2-hour-long stream. Where should I invest that time? Looking around at what we played here, see if there's anything that needs a little bit more time to shine. Well, I guess I can... We'll double back real quick to the Super New Year 15-1. Because I really do like this cartridge. And hop on over to the Bootleg Games wiki real quick. And see here. Okay, so first of all, here are the list of clones. So I have Sonic the Hedgehog, Family Kid, Doraemon, the Hummer, and Somari. I would still need to find at some point Sonic 3D Blast 6, Sonic 3D Blast 5, and Sonic and Knuckles 5. Okay. Anyway, the reason why I popped over to the Bootleg Games wiki is because it lists the code that you can use to access the level select screen. Left, down, B, A, right, up, A, B, up, down, up, down. Okay. So yeah, let me show you that thing I was talking about. Because I think they fixed... Okay, so wait. Retry. I thought that it was at least displayed correctly on the titles, on the level select screen. Right. Attempt number 2. Left, down, B, A, right, up, A, B, up, down, up, down. Okay. So I think we have to go to Spring Yard Zone then, right? That's Marble Zone. Left, down, B, A, right, up, A, B, up, down, up, down. Is it Marble Zone? Hooray! All of this just to show you that I think that they fixed the infinite death pit problem. So normally, you fall in this pit in Solmari, and it's tough luck. You're just stuck in there forever. However, you can actually get out of it now. Like, that brings this game up so much. The only disappointing thing about that, about this game, is that it doesn't start on the Green Hill Zone. It starts in the Spring Yard Zone. Which even in the original Sonic is probably my least favorite zone. Well, then again, I really hate the Labyrinth Zone, too. I don't know, I just think that the Green Hill Zone's a great, colorful, and beautiful stage. So it's really unfortunate that you start on one of the uglier ones. And I think there was examples of death pits here too, but you can kind of even see it. I think that they added that extra 2 bricks under the spikes there to make it so that you don't get trapped. Let me just confirm real quick. Yeah. Apparently someone at Hummer Team realized that that's the most annoying thing ever. And this is another reason why this Solmari revisit would be great, so I can talk about these minute little details that I missed the first time around. Of course, even though this does change a few things, it's not nearly as drastic as Doraemon is, which some people rightfully pointed out that I should have covered in more detail in my review. I had not played that when I reviewed Solmari. I had not played the Doraemon hack. I didn't expect it to be as different as it ended up being. Anyway, this is probably my favorite version of Solmari, I think. I just like the original character. I just think its design is amazing. I love the title screen. And it's not as unappealing to look at as Mario is. What I really want to find, probably the perfect one, well, I don't know about that. There's something really special about this version, I think. But I wish there was a version of it out there that was Sonic the Hedgehog and had the proper level progression. I've not been able to find that. Is there any other things we can spend the last... What, I got like 5 minutes here? Check out... Oh, wait. Okay, wait, I was apparently wrong. This starts at a different location. Is this different entirely? I mean, it's obviously Titanic, but... This is a different location. I think the character plays the same. Even though this is called Titanic by most everybody, as I understand it, the version of the game that is actually called Titanic has never been dumped. It's on something called the ABBA 3-in-1, or ABAB 3-in-1. That's an undumped game still. Having a real problem here. There we go. This snake is huge. Okay, I'll just... She doesn't have a very good kick. Can't get the rats. One thing that might be nice if, though, after this semester, taking a little bit of that assembler course is that maybe I can start working on some NES programming and Game Boy programming in assembler at least, because every game that I've done on Game Boy so far has been in GBDK's C compiler, which probably isn't even close to as powerful as assembler is. Oh, did I crash it? Interesting. Maybe look at this. This is the same one. I'm sort of confused as to why... Oh, wait, what? Oh, they drop eggs. That's a new gameplay feature. I was gonna say, I'm kind of confused as to why Hummer decided to have repeats on this cartridge. I don't know, maybe they thought that like a 6-in-1 just didn't sound like it would sell. Like no one's gonna get 16 games, I mean 6 games. So let's bump that up to 15 artificially. The cartridge itself is beautiful, by the way. Just looking at it real quick here. Features Duck Hunt artwork, Rugrats, some anime stuff. Some game that I recognize as an LJN release. It's like a paintball game. Oh, F-Zero's on here actually, holy crap. Twice. A Samurai Goro. It's like head is repeated a few times. Just a great cartridge. Alright, well I feel like I've dragged this out long enough. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you all stopping by. And this was just a fun little stream, despite all the hiccups that we had. And I hope to see you guys again real soon. Goodbye.